Jay Maratatu. Hello and welcome to Celtic Roots Radio, coming to you today from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Celtic, folk, folk rock, Appalachian, bluegrass, Scottish, Irish, Breton, Cajun. If it's Celtic or roots music you like, you'll find it here on Celtic Roots Radio.
You're at the grocery, never I come to call. Your mother hangs her head and sighs without a word at all. Run with me, a bonny lass, into the summer's night. You've never done anything wrong, you never do anything right. Run around me, a bonny lass, run around with me. Down the dark and cobble streets where all the lovers meet. Run around me, a bonny lass, run around with me. I may not be good for you, but you'll be good for me. Father was a sailor away and decided to settle down. A loving, committed family man with one in every town. Well, I may be the type of lad your mother warned about. Many a mother would lock up her daughter when I was strolling out. Run around, you bonny lass, run around with me. Down the dark and cobble streets where all the lovers meet. Run around, you bonny lass, run around with me. I may not be good for you, but you'll be good for me. Find a man of high standard your father did implore. I'd gladly raise my standard if you'd only lower yours. I'll speak about tomorrow in a loving, kindly way. We'll never have tomorrow if we haven't got today. Run around, you bonny lass, run around with me. Down the dark and cobble streets where all the lovers meet. Run around, you bonny lass, run around with me. I may not be good for you, but you'll be good for me.
How you doing? Here we are again on our Celtic Roots Radio show. I'm Raymond McCullough in Belfast with some great new Celtic and Roots songs and tunes, plus a wee bit of crack from myself. We started the show off with the song Run Around With Me from the Sheridan Band in Ontario, Canada, and there's more great music for you coming up. Our show this week is jointly sponsored by two great Irish books from Precious Oil Publications, Just a Thing for St Patrick's Day. The Shanachie by Jerry McCullough is a collection of Irish short stories set in County Donegal, tales of the antics of that lovable rogue, old Seamus. A Wee Taste of Crack by myself, Raymond McCullough, is based on the scripts of the first 25 Celtic Roots Radio shows. You can buy the paperback edition of either book from Amazon stores worldwide, or download the Kindle edition now for the cost of a cup of coffee. More info on these and other Irish books on the website preciousoil.com. And please check out our Celtic Roots Cafe community, where you'll find information about our artists and bands, music videos, photos, forum posts and a blog. Just click the cafe button on our main website, celticrootsradio.com. And if you like the crack on our shows, you can read it again at your leisure on our Celtic Roots Crack blog. Find it on the podcast page at celticrootsradio.com. As usual, we've received more great comments on the show. Nicole Capiz Perkins from Turners Falls, Massachussetts, USA, contacted us via our Facebook page. I just found your podcast on iTunes and I'm loving it. My 3-year-old son Liam keeps asking for dancing music, and so we listen all day. Thanks for sharing. Guy and Nix, also known as Kerry David from the USA, emailed us. I recently found your podcast on iTunes and I think it's wonderful. I'm a bit of a geek and I like to trace music as far back historically as I possibly can, trying to find common roots. This podcast contains music I've been trying to chase down here in the US and overseas with great difficulty, only to find it here, all in one place. Thank you for the great choices. I'm enjoying it all. Brightest blessings. Gooniebird 1966 gave us a 5-star review on iTunes USA. I really enjoy this podcast. I'm not Irish, but I love the genre, and Raymond does a fantastic job. Well, thank you Nicole, Gaia, or Carrie, and Gooniebird. We try to find the best new music for you. Glad you're enjoying it, and just keep right on listening there. And when you've exhausted all our podcast shows, tune into our 24/7 station on Live 365 for even more music, crack from myself, and shows from Mark Gunn and others. Find it on our radio page at celticrootsradio.com. Please keep in touch with us through email, Facebook message, Twitter, or our cafe site. We always appreciate a new review of the show on iTunes, and please drop us a wee email to let us know in case we miss it. While you're on iTunes, enter Raymond McCullough into the search box to find all of our other podcasts. This is Tartanic from Texas, USA, with 2 pipe tunes, BAllz and Ringworm.
So early, early in the spring, I shipped on board to serve my king, and I left my dearest dear behind. She of time swore her heart was mine. My love, she takes me by the hand. If ever I marry you, man, 1,000 miles, so long and sweet, saying we'll be married when next we meet. Hey! last into Glasgow town, and I strolled the streets for the band down, inquiring for my dearest dear, but never a word from her could I hear. I came at last to her father's hall, so loudly for my love and it called. My daughter's married, she's a rich man's wife, well wed to another, much better for life. If the girl is married that I do adore, I'm sure I'll stay on and no more. I'll search the seas till the day I die, breaking the waves, rolling in the mountains high.
That was Boston Blackthorne from Massachussetts, USA, with the song So Early in the Spring and a tune called Red Haired Boy. The sad news is that my boat, Warrior Maid, has sustained a fair bit of damage to the keel over the winter. In fact, it actually sank just before Christmas, though I managed to pump it out later the same day and get it floating again. I had to spend most of the following night during high tide, travelling up and down to the harbour and pumping it out every hour and a half as the water was coming in steadily. Next day, when the tide came up again, I pumped her out again and we moved her up the slipway, where she can't possibly sink again. In the winter time the slip isn't too busy, but even so I need to get the boat lifted out onto dry ground ASAP. Now that I've got my boat trailer back from a friend, I'll be able to get the crane down to lift her out. So I've been working out in the cold quite a bit, making adjustments to the trailer, cutting, welding, angle grinding, de-rusting and painting, while I have the chance. Once the boat is on the trailer I can forget about it for a wee while and start to get some work done in converting my stone barn into a home. The other day the sun was shining in a clear blue sky with very little wind, and I worked until it set, by which time it was getting pretty cold. On the way home I was driving west with the remains of a beautiful sunset lighting up the sky in front of me and a huge orange full moon rising behind me. Spectacular. Well, it's getting close to St. Patrick's Day again, and lovers of Celtic and Irish music and culture all over the world will be wanting to celebrate the fact. It's amazing that they don't do this with St. David's Day, St. Andrew's Day, St. George's Day, or any other saint's day that I know of. What is it about an Irish saint that has made him so popular? St. Patrick's Day is celebrated enthusiastically in North America, Russia and Israel, as well as many other places where there are Irish immigrants. I've been to Israel a few times. One of the best Irish pubs I've been to is called Molly Bloom's, right beside the beach in Tel Aviv. The food is great and the music and the atmosphere are even better. The first time I was there was a few weeks before St. Patrick's Day, and even on Friday evening, not always the best time for entertainment in Israel, there were around 20 musicians playing in a session there. There's music Monday, Wednesday and Friday. It just starts earlier on Friday. There were guitars, banjos, borons and fiddles galore, and a girl singer with a beautiful Irish lilt. But there wasn't an Irish person among them. Every single one was an Israeli. And all over Israel you can find other bars that play Irish music on a regular basis, even in Arad, down in the Negev. Apparently Irish culture, and recently especially the Northern Irish accent, etc., is the most popular around the world. No wonder then that when I go abroad, even though being from Northern Ireland my passport says British, I don't claim to be British but Irish. And we've been listening to Calliope from the Burnell Band, also from Ontario, Canada.
I still remember seeing you in the late days of summer. Not 10 years old, I said to me, she'll be my one and only. Well, here we are, here we go, the past of 20 years and more. My long ago wish came to be, and you're my one and only. Felt the cold of winter's moon, the warmth of sun in summer. I've crossed the mountains to the sea with you, my one and only. Our path won't always be the same, so now and then I write your name and hope that you cry back to me. I'm here, my one and only. In life's late days of summer, I hope you will stand next to me and be my one and only. And when we're gone, when we've passed on into that endless summer, across all time I'll cry, amen, my love, my one and only, my love, my one and only.
That was Sam Otis and Company, another band from Massachusetts, USA, and my one and only. As well as welcoming Irish culture and music around the world, people internationally seem also to have got more and more of a taste for our national spirit, Irish whiskey, or Uisce beatha as it's said in Irish. Uisce beatha is simply a direct translation of the Latin aqua vitae, water of life in English, and it used to be brewed by monks in monasteries around Ireland. Today, there are really only 4 major distilleries of Irish whiskey in Ireland, so nearly all the different brands of Irish whiskey come from one of these 4. One is based way down in County Cork in Middleton, another is just across the border in County Louth on the Cooley Peninsula, and they also now own the 3rd, originally Locke's Distillery in Kilbeggan, County Westmeath. The 4th distillery is in County Antrim, at Bush Mills on the River Bush. I've been on a tour around this distillery, famous for its Black Bush and Coleraine whiskies. At the end of the tour, you get a free sample of one of the products. That reminds me of the Irishman who once drowned in a vat of whiskey. Apparently, though, he got out 3 different times to go to the bathroom. That didn't happen to me, thankfully, as, believe it or not, I'm not really a whiskey drinker. I do like the odd pint of the Bjordu, mind you. The black stuff. Guinness, that is. There's a story told, whether true or not I wouldn't know, of Arthur Guinness witnessing the extreme drunkenness of many Dubliners one Sunday morning due to their consumption of Irish whiskey the night before. According to this story, Arthur decided that he would produce a much less alcoholic drink that would be much more difficult to get drunk on, hence the birth of Guinness. Arthur actually started by brewing ales, following in his father's footsteps. His father, as land steward for the Archbishop of Cashel, was responsible for brewing beer for the workers on the estate. After he'd been going for a while, a black beer called porter, brewed in London, became popular in Dublin. Arthur decided to brew this porter himself, and soon he was exporting porter to London. After 40 years of brewing, he decided to focus his attention on porter or stout only. Many years ago you could go into a pub and order either triple axe stout, which was much stronger, or double axe, but Guinness withdrew the triple axe variety. Even today you can go into most pubs in Ireland, except maybe the trendy ones, and order a pint of double. With no further explanation required, a pint of Guinness should soon appear. In fact, in most country pubs, just ordering a pint will produce a Guinness, unless you specify some other beer. Although porter or stout was a relatively new invention, there is mention of vats of black beer in ancient Irish legends such as the Toyne, so maybe Guinness is just the latest edition of something which is really as old as the hills. And you've been listening to the band Rip Van Finnegan from British Columbia, Canada. That was a lovely tune called The Peace of the Pipe.
Well, the flies around the porchlight buzz, flies around the porchlight buzz. Wish I was half as buzzed as they seem to be. They seem to be unaware of the world and all its cares. Life don't worry them the way it worries me. And the ball is getting dim. Got to change it again, so I can get back to trying not to think about my porchlight blues. Well, I used to sit here at night in the chair beneath the old porch light, hold my darling close until the morning came. That was a long time past, shame it had to end so fast. Sitting here by myself just ain't the same. And the ball is getting dim, I got to change it again, so I can get back to trying not to think about my porchlight blues. Flies around the porchlight buzz,
flies around the porchlight buzz,
flies around the porchlight buzz,
flies around the porchlight buzz.
Sometimes I wish I could just be one of them. I wouldn't sit here no more, tired, alone and sore, and I wouldn't have to sing that porchlight blues again. And the ball is getting dim, I got to change it again, so I can get back to trying not to think about my porchlight blues.
That was Andina and Rich from Wisconsin, USA, and Porchlight Blues. And we finish with a traditional Irish song, sung by Deborah Henriksson from Vasteras, Sweden. This is My Lagan Love. Look after yourselves now. Sláinte.
Well, Lagan stream sings lullaby. There grows a lily fair. The twilight gleam is in her eye. The night is on her head, and like a lovesick land she hath my heart in thrall. No life I own, no liberty, for love is Lord of all. And often when the beetle's horn hath lulled Eve to sleep, I steal unto her shielding Lord, and through the dooring peep, there on the cricket's singing stone, she spares the bogwood fire, and hums in sad sweet undertone the song of heart's desire. Well, Lagan stream sings lullaby. There grows a lily fair, and the twilight gleam is in her eye. The night is on her head, and like a lovesick land she hath my heart in thrall. No life I owe, no liberty, for love is Lord of
Well, that's all we have time for on this show. Remember, you can find out more information about the artists and songs played on the show on our website at CelticRootsRadio.com. And if you're an independent artist and you'd like to hear your music played on this show, again, you'll find details on our website. That's CelticRootsRadio.com. Tune in again next week to Celtic Roots Radio. I'm Raymond McCullough, coming to you from Ireland. Slán agus Banna Dia.